Now, this is a biopic that I can get into. See, Oppenheimer fans, there are actually biopics that can interest me. Oh, alright, legit just got back from the theaters, advanced screenings of this movie. Wouldn't miss it in a heartbeat, even though, if I'm to be honest, I'm not a Gran Turismo fan at all whatsoever. Grew up with Midnight Club mostly, and also a little bit of Need for Speed. Yeah, I love street racing and the stories relating to those much more than like professional racing like F1. Never really cared about it that much, but I thought this one would be interesting, so I definitely wanted to watch it. And it played out exactly how I imagined it to. It was a truly inspiring story based on the true story of Jann Mardenborough, who became an actual real-life professional racer from just a gamer. And I enjoyed this as much as I thought I would, from an outsider's perspective. And that's the thing, you don't necessarily need to love Gran Turismo to love this movie, even though it would help to some degree. Like, you may get some references or, and Easter eggs in this movie, right? Like, more than the average person. I did hear some people in my theater laugh a few times during this movie. At first, I had no idea why, but then I eventually caught on. But it's kind of like Creed in a way where you don't necessarily, need to like boxing to watch and enjoy those movies. This movie goes a lot through Jann's upbringing, his relationship, his struggles, and his victories. I especially loved seeing what these professional racers go through on a daily basis. Like, it wasn't just racing. There's this whole huge fitness resume and stuff that you have to practice. Like, you have to go sprinting, you have to get your fitness levels up, all for just racing, just sitting in a car seat. Like, that's insane. And I saw some of the stuff they had to practice with their reaction speed, and just a lot. There's a lot that goes through becoming a pro, and it was interesting seeing how they do it in this movie. Now, I don't know how accurate this movie is with everything. I'm the average moviegoer, right? But I am assuming most things in this movie are accurate enough to some degree. Otherwise, they're just scamming the audience. You know what I mean? Anyways, this movie still keeps to its gaming core and roots. I love seeing some of the gaming visual effects and hearing some of the music as well. There would be certain points in this movie where there would be just these subtle PlayStation game sounds that were very satisfying to hear. And at certain parts of this movie, we would see visual icons above a car. For instance, first place, second place, third place. It's actually you're actually watching a game playthrough. There was this street racing scene that I really appreciated in this movie. In fact, the whole cinematography, thrills, and everything made the movie very enjoyable to watch, along with the different places that they would travel to and seeing the lifestyles and certain experiences. It was just a variety of things that were just enjoyable, and the acting was also pretty great. I know David Harbour isn't just known for Stranger Things, right? But some of his acting in this one, along with many of the others, just really reminded me to how emotional Stranger Things season 4 was. I really don't know why, but I don't know. I need to rewatch that series because I really miss Stranger Things. Ultimately, Gran Turismo was a very inspirational story, very emotional at times, and I loved how this movie just doesn't work out perfectly. It's not just fun and games. It shows the hardships of realizing a dream. And sure, this movie shows dreams are so easy, right? A lot of things work out pretty simply in this one. It is based off of a true story, but still, it shows you that there's a big message that says dreams are possible if you try hard enough. And we always hear about this in the news and online, all that stuff. But in another way, this film also snaps the viewer back into reality, because dreams don't often get realized if you think about it. Social media tricks people. It tricks people. It makes you okay, it might show one person who makes it, but there are 100 other people in the shadows that don't. And they don't show those people, obviously. Kind of like YouTube in a way. The popular people get more popular, and the nobodies weep in the shadows. Anyway, look, even though I overall enjoy the story that this movie provided, and it did shed a tear or two, I did wish it was a bit more elaborate in a way. Like, I feel like mostly during the later stages, there wasn't much more shown with Jann and his relationship with his brother and his father. And also it just feels like his rise to fame was a bit too quick. I kind of just wish I saw like more of his kind of struggles, especially mostly during like his training in the early stages, and like more people saying to him, oh, you can't make it, dude. Gamer turned professional racer, you can't do it, dude. Like, maybe he has a dream of like people saying he can't make it, and then he just wakes up in the middle of the night, sweat running down his forehead, and then he just has an emotional talk with David Harbour's character or something. Something like that. Maybe I'm asking for too much, but I just feel like this movie was a bit simplified. Like, okay, there's one major thing that happens, one major obstacle, and then just one guy who jokes about him becoming from a gamer become professional racer, and then just one rival. You know what I mean? Then again, it is hard to fit in everything, but let me just say, if this movie was another 15 to 30 minutes longer or Oppenheimer runtime, then I honestly wouldn't mind at all. Like, I felt like I just needed more time to get attached to these characters, and I guess see more of Jann's like troubles, especially with his father, because it kind of just disappears midway through. And I know that might be the reason why it might be like, oh, he just doesn't want to contact them. They're kind of out of his life at that certain point. But still, it would be nice to maybe see like him having like a dream, and then just, you know, thinking about them, or like something more. For some reason, even though this movie's runtime is more than 2 hours, it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes or something, it didn't even feel that long. That's weird. Maybe it's because I had so much fun during it, or that I just didn't realize that time was going by. But oh well. I'm going to give Gran Turismo, based on a true story, a B. Yeah, sorry if this review wasn't as elaborate as some of my other reviews. I legit just got back from the theaters, jotted my thoughts down on my phone on the train. Normally I do it on my high-end PC. And I instantly got home, didn't even have time to eat dinner, and just straight up just got home, recorded this. I have a car, okay? It's just that the advanced screenings were in the city. I'm way too far in the city. I can't drive. I drove a bit and then took the train. It was pretty relaxing because I didn't take the train in a while. Why am I rambling about this? But anyway, on the way back, man, I drove in my car like I never drove before, dude. You know when you have those situations where you watch a movie and then you get kind of inspired or something? Like I watched the Gran Turismo movie, and then in my car on the way home, I'm just like super diligent and just like going fast and just passing everyone and just switching lanes like super quick. But yeah, I mean, I just got back home, so yeah, normally I think this is the quickest I've actually done a review. Like, actually got home. Normally I take a shower, eat something. Normally I write down my thoughts when I get home. But since I had so much time on the train to think about it, not think about it, I was just like so quickly. Here's what happens, okay? Let me just tell you guys. Like, normally when I watch a movie, I have like, normally it's not at night, but sometimes it's advanced screening. Sometimes I have like the night to think about it. But if I let's say if I normally watched a movie, there's no advanced screenings, it's just during the day on release day, I get home, I have a few hours to think about it. I record it, I upload it, yada, yada, yada. The next day, there's almost always, 95% of the time, always one thing that I forget that's crucial that I leave out. And I'm just hoping that's not the case with this one, but it probably will. So just a heads up, okay? Also, from an outsider's view, like, I'm not a Gran Turismo nerd. Not that there's anything wrong with that, you know. But I probably wouldn't have liked this. I probably would have liked this movie a lot more or a lot less. Like, I would be more critical, but this is, like I said, just from an outsider's perspective. Like, see, I actually like biopics in the right context. I mean, I'm not even that much of a car nerd. Like I said, I only grew up with Midnight Club, not these things. Even Ford vs. Ferrari, I remember. This movie brings me back to that. Was that a biopic? What is a biopic? I mean, I feel like I'm just using that term loosely, but I feel like this describes it. Even Ford vs. Ferrari, I liked. Stuff that interests me, I like, if it's a biopic. That's true. Like Air as well. But Oppenheimer, like, on paper, okay, I know I'm talking about that way too much, but you gotta understand, like, I like a variety of movies. I'm not just into action or Marvel or, like, horror thrillers. Even though I do prefer those movies, I still like something where I can think about, where it allows me to think, right? Or it just shows me something. I guess Oppenheimer isn't really that, but it just, like, you would think it'd be so cool, but I just didn't think it was all that. So, yeah, even though it was one that possibly interested me, I could have, like, I only watched it because it's one of the most highly anticipated movies of the year, apparently. So that's why mainly I watched it. It didn't do it for me. And I feel like my opinion of it is still justified. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below. Like and sub if you enjoyed. And as always, feel free to check out any of my previous videos. Until next time.